game.
Well, I didn't hear the song. I don't know if anyone else heard the song. That's fine. I can sing it for you if you guys would like. Welcome. Heat win, all of those things. This is your Miami Heat Beat post-game show. I am not Giancarlo Navis. Instead, I am Siobhan. With me today, we got my boy Kyle. Got my boy, not my boy, my boy, Kyle and Kay. What's up, y'all?
Hey, what's up? How you doing, man? Well, I'm sorry, people. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
The cold open just got me all in a tizzy right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was
cold open. It's all good.
I was waiting for the beat, and it never happened. So I'm just giving myself a line. I'm here though.
Yeah, a little off rhythm. It's okay. What's up, Kyle? How you doing?
Glad that they won a damn game.
Child, please, because yes, actually, same. Your Miami Heat tonight defeated the Phoenix Suns at home, 127 to 121, and it felt pretty good for a bit, and then it got right back to feeling as awful in the second half as we've felt it feel. But let's start on a positive. Kyle, Kay, one of you guys take it. Bamonte, first quarter. How we feel?
Ooh. I think he played with rhythm, and that's kind of what you want him to play with. They were, I had somebody say to me they were kind of finding him in his spots, and just he played within the offense. It wasn't dribble, having to take the guy off the dribble the entire time. Yeah. And he did self-create a bit, but it wasn't every time down the floor. He found his offense within the flow, so it didn't disrupt anything. I think the threes got him going for what eventually ended up happening in the fourth, and just being able to take them in rhythm. His shot prep looked good. He looked like he had a bit of pep to his step. So I really liked his energy throughout the game. And even when he didn't, make shots, he definitely didn't hang his head. It wasn't like frustration. He seemed to have a clear mind about how he wanted to approach the game. So that to me set kind of the tone for the rest of the game.
Okay. How you feel about first quarter, Bam?
I mean, he kind of hit it. Kyle kind of hit it on it from a, I guess X's and O's or execution perspective. But when you just look at it overall from a theoretical perspective, and then he mentioned the energy, the shot looked a little different. The 3-point shot wasn't as mechanical. It wasn't as, 1-2 step. It was like a smooth motion. It was a 1. And then the 2 was it hitting the rim the way it was supposed to, as opposed to him being either too short or too long in these past couple. Actually, for most of the season after that first couple of weeks. But there's also a different spry in his step. The way he was moving, I don't know, man. It's really weird when you think about some of the things you've seen in the past couple of weeks from the reports of injuries and him getting blown by. You like, well, it seems like it's there, but he can come out, and look like he looked. I don't know. I can't explain that, but I'm just glad that he had that energy about him. And to go back to it philosophically, like you said, whether it be the first, and I'm not going to go too far because I hate to step on the host's toes, of course.
No,
but whether it was whether it's the first quarter or whether you look at, how they eventually came through in that fourth period. And kind of what we've always known, just in different ways. Tonight it was scoring, and his energy and his presence. But once Bam, shows up in his Bam, for lack of better terms, I guess I want to say, or the Bam we know he has shown he could be at times, the team tends to, follow his lead and do well.
Yeah. I was happy with the way that he felt today too, especially in the first. But a solid chunk of that, Kyle, you're right. He did some self-creation. But offensively, one time, please. CM200 YouTube comment. Shout out to you, the super chat in the chat. What do you say? Bam, Norman, Jaime played that final stretch so well. Davion getting hurt sucks, but the closing lineup that it produced looked great. I feel that. I'm with some of that. We'll touch on that in a bit. Keep that comment nearby. Early on, Bam, I thought he looked good too. I thought offensively they played through him. They're continuing to get back into some of the ball screen stuff. It's a little less solely dribble drive and just kind of back into, like I said, some of the ball screen stuff, some, prying open of defenses the way that we have seen work for them, the way that keeps Bam involved, the way that kind of helps Tyler get loose a little bit. And yeah, I was happy to see the liveliness in his body, his activity. For as disappeared as he was, the middle 2 quarters, that man, finished with 11 out of 15. And that's incredibly important, I think, for him to continue to stay efficient. Like you said, not hang his head, continue to kind of be felt around the basket and stuff. Rebounded 9 rebounds today, nobody in double figure rebounds. But yeah, therefore, how do you guys feel about, all right, let's broaden it up a bit, the first half? What do you feel about Miami first quarters and Miami first halves? Keep it to the game to the best of your ability. But I've, like, for a little while now, it feels like some of the first quarter stuff is like a mirage. Like, very much, we're gonna beat you upside the head before you can kind of get your bearings. And then hopefully we've kind of amassed a large enough lead to where we can nurse it at the end or whatever. But yeah, man, the going into their third quarter for you guys, how do you feel about it? How did you feel about it today?
Okay, you want to go first, or? I think my frustration with the third quarters is what mentally happens between first half and then when they come out the locker room. I don't know if the pep talk is great. I don't know what's happening, but something about the way they come back out after halftime, the mojo's gone. It's almost like they should stay on the bench and just keep the mojo going. Like, have the talk here, because whatever happens, they leave it inside the locker room. And I think, to me, what's frustrating is they're so crisp to start, and then all of a sudden, like, the game got close because of, teams are gonna make a run. It's the NBA. These are professionals, so they're gonna make some runs.
Right.
But, like, I think at one point it got up to like 11-0 or 13-0 run where they couldn't make a bucket, couldn't hit any shots. They looked frazzled, and I was like, "What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? This y'all should put your foot on the neck and hit the gas pedal." It seems like they eased off a little bit, so I'm not really sure what happens here, because I feel like it's a here thing, and I don't want to go too far into what happened later on, but, like, I feel like the chippiness got him back into the game, where it could have really turned all the way over and shifted all the momentum into the Suns' favor.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, and I think that's just Heat basketball for the most part, even though it's been a little bit different, is playing a little gritty, playing with a little edge, playing a little grumpy, not so friendly, like, just be felt on both sides of the ball. So I don't know what happens in the third quarter, though. Like, the mental, there's like a lapse.
I'm gonna speak to that a little bit.
Okay, them boys it was 71-54 going into the third. That thing ended up 92 all.
At 6.5 minutes in the third period, the Phoenix Suns had outscored the Miami Heat 20-7.
Say it again for the people in the back.
At halfway through the third period. And this is when Spo finally decided to call a timeout, by the way. I mean, man, look, I don't. That's not a conversation for me.
Listen, I'm looking at the play-by-play right now. Heat full timeout was at 6:42.
Right. I was like, yo, it's 6 something. I knew it's almost through the 6 minute. Okay, Spo, I guess this is a good time to call it when they up 20-7. But you're talking about outscoring this team by 17 points. By 17 points to close, what was a 20-point lead 30 seconds into the quarter. A famous line that stuck in my head tonight from E. Reed. 20 seconds into the quarter, they up. 30 seconds, they up 20. And then by the end of it, it's gone. And the Phoenix Suns looks like they have control of the game. Mm-hmm. Now, what I will say is that there's 2 things, and I'm not going to go too deep because, like I said, that's going to get into the, the thing that inspired them to come back. We all perceive. They come out on level 2. And then once teams make adjustments in that second quarter or at halftime, more likely than not, the Miami Heat still come out. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other team, they've kicked it up to a level 3 or 4. Okay, well, then you endure a quarter or 6 minutes of getting your butt whooped before you decide to say, hey, maybe we need to go up to a 4. Now, here's the thing. And I can't say Bam isn't, because he's trying, and you can see it. Like the huddle from the other night, him, being more aggressive with his shot making or just trying to make stuff happen on the court. But another thing is, even if it isn't something that happens between you and the other team, there has to be some.
Speak with
Jimmy Butler was a little more aggressive with his words.
Yeah.
So that made those things able to happen. And you need somebody like that. Dwayne Wade would cuss you out. You know what I'm saying? You had guys that would get aggressive, and that's something that they need, because obviously they're not ready when that tone is being set coming into that second half. And we all know that Bam isn't as, or hasn't traditionally been as vocally demonstrative as some of those other guys are. And I have to use that guy because that's the last one that most of us know.
Yeah. Nah, I went back and tried to watch, because like whenever we blow these big ass leads, I'm always like, what happened? And it's so hard for me to kind of watch games sometimes. I'm trying to watch so many things at once, and I kind of like miss some stuff. And so I went back and like watched some of the first few minutes of the third, and it's shot making, it's more physical defensiveness from Phoenix, it's cutting off drives, it's bodying up, it's just, you got Dylan Brooks, right? And you got a guy like Devin Booker, who y'all remember the elevator video? Like, we know Devin, Devin be ready to get down every now and then. So I don't know. They come out in half, and there is just such a more physical demeanor to the Suns. And to your point, Kyle, we just feel to not have that. It's like and it's so baffling to me that we almost feel to get comfortable with these leads when we don't do a good job of maintaining leads. So like, what is it? Why? What? Foot off neck? Why? Like, foot off pedal for what? Run through the tape. We're not. It's a whole 24 minutes left. And again, historically, we've seen us, not handle those moments well. What we got? Go ahead, Kay.
Even like, okay, now I'm not the historian with the numbers and all of that, but it's just like, when did that become a big issue?
I don't know, man.
Big three, and I'll tell you, the big three from that time, third quarter. That's when the third quarters really started, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, third. Yeah.
The most complete team with the most talent. If you had to talk about your top three guys, they had third quarters. And what was weird about it is, I don't know if it was the way the bench played. They always had at least one of them out on the floor, but they got teams' best efforts third and fourth quarters. It never left. When guys departed, it stayed. I don't know what happened, but it stayed. And for whatever reason, I don't know. It's not coaching staff, because Spo seems to be like, I know you all have this. Why do I need to call a timeout for y'all to get it? Or why does somebody need to get fouled hard for you to get it? So I think the challenge is like, hey, first quarter, second quarter, we did some things. This is what we did great. How do we continue to like string this along so that we don't have to play a clutch game and have to play like closeout, when really we should just put our foot fully all the way through, and that way we're not having to do all of this. I mean, some of the chippiness helps. I think that's just the way the flow of a game is going to have when you have what I coin. I maybe have a different word for guys like Dylan Brooks, Draymond Green, disruptors. They're game disruptors. Their whole thing is to get you under your skin and to make you uncomfortable. But he picked the wrong few people to be discomfort. Like, Norm is grumpy. That's not a happy guy on a regular basis, unless they get a W. But even then, he's grumpy, right? And then, you know, Devin with Pell, you know, that really set the tone of like, oh, so
Pell's petty.
y'all want to get active. Cool. Which, funny enough, it wasn't Norm, it wasn't Tyler, it wasn't even Bam. It was Jaime that kind of like, which I realized I don't know what's going on this season, but he's been in a kind of a like he's been on timing this season. I don't know what that is, but he's had some energy for folks, and I'm like, Jaime, what'd you have last summer?
He said, but I ain't never seen you act like this before. No, you're right. That's interesting. I do think a lot of that kind of started with the big three, like you said, but that's a group with Hall of Fame talent all up and through that. You know, we have not had that luxury since then, and I don't know, man. It's just a little like
they need somebody on the court that'll scream.
They
need somebody on the court that'll scream. Honestly, scream? I mean, yeah. Like if you look at to your point about being a disruptor, like I mean, and they're not always those rah guys, but Draymond a scream for better or worse. Yeah. Dylan Brooks a scream for better or worse. Even KD to a certain extent, he'll scream for better or worse. And I mean, like they need a guy that's gonna scream in a way that, you know, they can do it and it's convincing, but at the same time, it'll actually go across.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I'm looking at some of the box score from tonight, some individual performances. You know, Wig was 2 for 11, right? Had 8 points. He was a plus 11. Bam, 11 for 15, plus 9. Norm, 10 for 18, plus 13. You know, it felt like individually, again, it was another solid game. Guys kind of come together. I thought Tyler was mostly fine. I don't know, man. The third quarter really, it just is a thing, and I don't know. They got more physical. They're cutting off drives. Something about as the offense has continued to kind of layer itself together, how have you guys felt with it?
I'm okay with the offense, but you brought up something interesting. Do they try to pace themselves through these down periods when that is the moment when you should be trying to get to something that's going to get you, you know what I mean, get you into a good place or get you a good look offensively? Because I think oftentimes what they do is they find themselves on the hamster wheel of continuing to try to pace themselves through a rut when it's like the other team is making baskets and getting off good looks, but you're playing hectically and just trying to get yourself up and down to force yourself into a good look, you know, which just isn't the best move in those situations for me. So that's how I feel about the offense. It's good early coming out of the first and, you know, in the third if it's working. And then, but at some points, each player and the coaches have to know when to get themselves into a good look.
Right. And I think the thing with that is because they're trying to play fast, right? Like they're trying to play with such like energy, crisp ball movement. There is a lot of movement throughout that what their philosophy of the offense is this particular season. I think I talked about it, and you may have seen it earlier in the season. My question was, how much and how long can you play this fast at this level for an entire 82 game season with like, and then, these are conditioned athletes. I get it. But to play with the kind of precision that's needed to play the kind of offense that they want the results from is exceptionally difficult. And so I think they might be in the third quarter going, you know what? We're going to try to catch our breath and still try to play as much competitive basketball as we can so that in the fourth quarter, we still got energy, which is an irony kind of thing. I mean, you want your best energy in the fourth for sure, but in the third, it seems like, and it's been the last maybe 5 or 6 games that we've seen them kind of tail off in the third quarters, where earlier in the season, they were so much more decisive about their third quarters. They were averaging 140 per game. So I don't know what's really going on. That mental thing is really kind of the the trigger point that I'm a little bit confused about. Like, I'm not sure what's happening. And chat saying what's fixating, isn't the point of it. Yeah, it's supposed to be the time to catch your breath. I don't know. I don't know that they're actually catching their breath during halftime. But I will say that aside from the chippiness, I liked their execution down the stretch. It was hurried a little bit. The defense was a little bit more up underneath them. It was a bit of turnovers. We got a super chat from the rant guy Yeezy. Bam hit a grenade. Yeah, because he was hitting threes. But okay, what do you like? So I guess we'll go to there's the Pell moment. Do we have?
I mean, that just to close on that third period. Honestly, there was so much going on from the perspective of the Miami Heat themselves that you don't really notice that Devin Booker really wasn't. He was making big shots, but he really wasn't cooking to the point where they were beating him. It's just like we're saying, it's something that the Miami Heat have to overcome. And I don't know whether they have to slow down a little bit more, whether they have to prepare for teams to turn it up a notch. It's just something that they're going to have to do to make sure that they don't find themselves in a position to not only blow leads, but simply lose games. Because no matter whether you're like tonight, luckily they were up 20. So if you're not up 20, then you're going to find yourself down 20 if you continue to let that be a thing. But I guess that's what you want to transition into, the chippiness from that we saw from Pell and then Jaime and all of those guys, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, so I believe that happened third, fourth quarter, if I'm correct. All
of this stuff happened like towards the end of the third period, maybe heading into the fourth, late.
So right heading into the fourth. One of the things that I've accused, and I'll own it, I've accused the Heat of being a little bit too pretty over the last couple of years, where they play soft a little bit. When I'm like, y'all had this best conditioned, grittiest, nastiest, and y'all playing soft. Like, what's happening? And so the chippiness, funny enough, for some players gets them out of their game. And then you have Bam, who to me in the fourth quarter was like, "Oh, y'all messing with my guys. Copy, got you." And I really feel like that was the energy. Like, that's really what he came into the fourth quarter with, and went on his own personal stretch of just like, I'm gonna go get a bucket. Like, I'm hearing the noise, I'm tuning all that out. I'm gonna go get a bucket. And the Heat played Heat basketball. For a moment, and this is a little bit of a detour, and you please give me your thoughts here. I don't know if Dylan realizes his activity is a double-edged sword. It can get your guys going, but it can also get the other team's guys going. These are NBA players, they're competitive. This is the top league, right? So to me, he really kind of, where I feel like the Suns had momentum, he got the Heat back into the game. Like, mentally, like, they clicked back into like, oh, we with y'all. We with all the smoke. We'll play the same game with y'all.
Well, I mean, it was all of that, man. And honestly, let's just not give it straight to the Miami Heat as if they, took control right after that. What that did, though, was that made them lock into a point where they weren't going away, because we saw moments, especially midway through that fourth or late in that fourth, where the Miami Heat, I'm not going to say would have given up, because we trust that they just won't flat out lay down. Right. But from a perspective of executing, from a perspective of staying poised enough to make those shots. You look at the big Norm 3 in the corner. You look at plays like Bam forcing the steal on Mark Williams off of the inbound and getting out for the run out dunk. I mean, being poised enough to not foul there, being concentrated and focused enough and in your right mind enough, I guess from a basketball sports perspective, right mind enough, being focused and lined in and locked in enough to be able to nail that shot in those critical moments. I mean, they were fueled by that edge that they got from those guys, but you also look at it from the perspective of it wasn't easy, and you just appreciate the Miami Heat being able to do something that we haven't seen a lot of this season, which is overcome immediate adversity. We've seen them in moments be able to overcome one issue or two issues that can be fixed, throughout another quarter or throughout another half or whatever.
Right.
But to see them be able to do that in the midst of a quarter, especially after that third period, which we've talked so much about, that's something that you definitely look forward to. And not only hang your hat on, man, he was into it and you hate to say because he was making shots, but definitely when shots go in, things look different for everybody.
Yeah.
And that just brings me back to the thing we talked about earlier. When Bam is active, and when Bam is assertive, and like I said, the shots were going in tonight, so he was feeling good about himself, but everybody else feels good about everything else that's going on, and the team just plays better. But that's the importance of Bam, and I guess that's why he's a captain. But that's also why we expect so much of him, and when he isn't performing well, it's such a highlighted issue, and yada yada yada. I don't know, man. It's not crazy, but it's crazy because to see it happen like that is something very different than for us to just talk it to death. Well, you need Bam to play better. If Bam was playing a little bit better, well, Bam ain't playing that way. Well, yeah, Bam. If Bam was right, this team, like when you see it happen, as they say today, it hits different.
It does, and I think he won them the game. Let's just be truthful. Like, yeah, some guys made shots for sure.
Absolutely.
But they absolutely, and I think that's to your point about what we expect from him. It's kind of ironic that the report came out about the scout talking about some, we don't know who Bam is, and we don't know if he's regressed, and da 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 da. And then he comes out and ends up with 29 and 9, right? And so I think what our frustration as Heat fans is this is in here. Like, this is in Bam. This is what we want night to night. Like, he has the ability to like really change games on both sides of the floor. And he's definitely the kind of person, or the kind of player, more specifically, that impacts winning. Like, when he's locked in, he can win. He's anchored. He's anchored teams before, and his ability to expand his offense does show his versatility, not just on the defensive end, but on the offensive side of the ball. So to me, if he's able to string games together, I think that's what we're all kind of holding our breath for a little bit is, Bam, string these kind of games together. Like, these are the kind of games we expect from you on a night-to-night basis. And this is why I'm going to touch on this just slightly because it's a little bit outside of the room. Mm-hmm. This is why they paying the max money. Because not only defensively, but there's times where he's locked in offensively that you're like, yo, wait a minute. We should be paying him what we pay him. So, and to give.
I got a comment from Coach Spo, post game. Tonight, if tonight was good for Bam's mental health after a rough month offensively, Spo responded, probably he's a great competitor in this league. I'm sure it felt awesome to contribute on both ends of the court and make big shots. He was basically doing everything for us. He filled up the box score in all the statistical ways and intangible ways. He deserved it and he earned it. Just, more comments, stating how that was reflective on the whole team. What do you have? Do you have thoughts on those comments from Spo there, just as you were going in on, on Bam and his meaning and his worth to the team?
And so I think that goes back into that's why Coach Spo is where he is. Like, I can have some criticism for him, but he is very consistent with the Spo-isms. That great competitor, stick with it, hold down the fort, that kind of stuff is really mentality from head leader, and Bam is bought in. And so with the stretch he's had, for him to kind of break even and go, you know what, I gotta show force. I gotta get a bucket. And not just a bucket, but also I gotta play defense, right? Like, we know Bam's gonna play defense, so that's not the concern. But when he's able to do both sides of the ball, they end up winning games. Like, they are in the best position to win games. And so
his contributions are just meaningful on both sides, man, to your point.
Right.
I mean, and I think Spo mentioned that in his comments, the intangibles are just something that he presents that, you can't find everywhere, and you feel it And that's what Spo is always saying, a Spoism. You want to be felt. Norman Powell, on what he said to Bam during his slump, is my message to him is to keep going. It don't matter if you make or miss. I just tell him to clear his head and hoop. He knows what he can do. We know the player he is. It's just clearing his mind and making the plays in front of him. I think that's encouraging for Bam to hear, especially during this slump like this. Now, when you look at Norm, speaking of Norm, Norm finished with 27 on 4 of 10 from 3, 5 rebounds, 3 dimes. Tyler Hero finished with 23, 8 of 18 from the floor. Norm was 10 of 18 from the floor, by the way. Tyler, 8 of 18 from the floor, 2 of 8 from 3, 2 rebounds and 3 assists. How do you feel like, did you feel like, and the reason I mention that, not to give you too much at one time, but Coach spoke on if Tyler and Norman Powell synergy is getting better. He said, yeah, give us a little bit of time and it will get a whole lot better. The synergy would be there if we can play consistently the way we need to play. There's an absolute way we need to play. And when we don't, it's like, what are we doing? We know the style we need to play, and it's beautiful basketball. That doesn't make sense to me, but I won't. I mean, Spo was saying what he needed to say. But what's your thoughts on, what Spo said there, the style they need to play, and just how they perform tonight, man?
Well, the thought process is that if you have two guys who are capable of doing similar things offensively, you should be winning more games. And so because they haven't really had as much time, especially because Tyler was injured, he wasn't available, there is some kind of flow that needs to happen. Now, am I annoyed that 2 professional scorers have bad shooting nights? Yes, because their whole point of being on the floor is to score the ball, and they're not lockdown defenders. They're not even Pell defenders. They're just offensive guys who are good team defenders. And so I am content with the idea of them being on the floor together if they're going to be potent offensively. Like, to me, that's the only reason it makes any sense, especially on a night where Wiggs didn't have it, and during the Thunder game he was on. And that just is a game-to-game kind of thing. That's the way the league is. It really is as cliche as it's a make-or-miss league. Sometimes you're going to feel it.
That's also the nature of Wiggs, too. You know how that go with him.
Right.
Yeah. Norm kind of feels the same way with him and Tyler. Just based on the comments, the more and more reps and practice time we have is just going to get better. Is a statement from Norm. So I mean, you got to trust in there. You got anything else left on the Norm and Tyler situation before we move on to one thing that we definitely got to hit? It was kind of brought up in the little conversation as well, but it's something that we definitely need to talk about. Of course, he impacts the game. We've been talking about it. So anything less on Norm and Tyler?
They help, but my whole thing is Bam wanting the game.
Absolutely. Now he didn't do that alone. Jaime Jaquez Jr. continued to do what he's been doing all season, which is be big. You notice in times where the offense was bogging down, especially I guess in the middle of that third quarter when Coach Spo needed something, needed a jolt for the offense, as he's done time and time again this season. He went to Jaime, and it was pointed out amongst the group chat that and I was thinking about it, ironically enough, at the same time. Usually Jaime is helping the team most when he's driving those balls hard, driving them hard to the rim to finish them. But now he was driving them to dish them off to the playmakers to keep continuing to get the ball moving around, or actually to create the opportunity. Because I think about one of those Bam threes, it looks like it's going to be a shot clock violation, and it looks like Bam is taking a desperation shot because it's been swung, kicked back again to him. But in all actuality, I guess that was an action that created the best shot. But a lot of those were started. Right. I know he got me. Yeah, I know you Portugal's. You're right. I'm sorry. Excuse me. But a lot of those plays were starters that he did, which was taking it to the rim hard, and creating action defensively.
And
how do you feel about his performance?
I think one of the things that is the most noticeable about this season with him, aside from the drives, we know that he's creative around the paint. We know that he's been able to make shots. I think he's one of the top paint makers off the bench this season and just being effective around the rim. But what's been the most noticeable about his progression is his ability to create for others. And so being able to do that and to find guys, his best games are when he's finding other guys. It's not just the drives. The drives are great. I do think that helps. But when he's able to create gravity off of those drives and find guys in rhythm, those are the plays that help them win games. And so as the season continues, I'm excited to see kind of like how much more of that playmaking grows. And it doesn't need to be 10 assists a game. I'm not expecting Jaime to do all of that. But if it's 5, 6, maybe 7 assists, trying to string those kind of playmaking games together, that means he's creating opportunities for others with his drives. So that growth,
8 tonight, 8's
right?
Pretty good.
That growth from last season, where he felt like really hampered by the injury, and then some of the little things that was going on mentally, as he expressed, to switch all of that and to come and just be aggressive, play his game. His game's not any different from year one. He's just more proficient at what he's doing. And now, not only that, but he's been able to use his gravity and his ability to score at the rim, which they're showing him too sometimes off the back, off him posting up. He's able to find guys or not drive and not know where you're going, even though he struggles with that sometimes. He's able to find guys with the drives, the Norm 3, the Bam 3, some of those things that are just energy plays. The ball has energy. And so he was able to do that effectively. And him being in that lineup, what I also want to give a little credence to, and I'll finish here, is his defense. He's been much better defensively on ball. There's these are, Devin Booker, some of these guys who just make shots. They're going to make shots. That's fine. But for the most part, I haven't seen him get blown by. I haven't seen him get punished so much. And he's played big even on power forward sometimes, where he's held his own on defense. So, that progression for them has been interesting. I wish it's turned into more wins, but he's been impressive this season.
I mean, he's contributing when they are, when they are winning games, even when they aren't. But he's definitely a big part of whatever amount of success they're able to have. I mean, here's the thing, man. All in all, when you get a Miami Heat effort, I guess, which is one where they don't quit, all that stuff that they wrote on the basketball court that everybody hate. When you get that from them, even for 3 quarters sometimes, it's gonna work out. Now you want to get it from them for all 4 periods, because that's the problem with them, and that's what I've always said. And I know it sounds very cliche and basic, because you'd be like, well, if everybody or every team was no, it's like this Miami Heat team, and far often than not, they show on nights where they could be very good to right below great. And then there's some nights where you're like, yo, this is a lottery team. But to have that vast of a gap between your ability to put out showings, that's what bothers you about the consistency specifically with these teams. It's one thing to just be like, okay, for 70%, 80% of your games, you're trash. Over 60, 70% of your games, you're very good. But then it's just like in a half, you'll look like you looked in the first half, and then you'll look like you look in the third quarter. And I know that it's like it's a tale of two halves, and they got to maintain some consistency. Speaking of, man, their next couple of games, they had the Suns tonight, pulled out a victory there. I think that was very important. When you look at the remainder of their schedule in the next couple of games, let's say they got the Celtics on Thursday, they got the Thunder on Saturday, and then they spark the week up next week with the Warriors. You know what I mean? Very, very intriguing matchup. Of course, we know for various reasons. I could have just closed it this week, but I wanted to talk about the Warriors anyway, really quick before we wrap up. I'll tell you what, first of all, give me your record prediction over the next 3 games.
As I've done before, it can go 3 ways. They either gonna go 0-3, 1-2, or I did say it's 3 games, right?
Yeah, but you're about to cover every total possible option.
now I leave it open because this team, as you mentioned, the gap in showings is how I feel about it. There's this like, y'all did.
I know what you. No, I was just messing with you, but I know what you say. They can go 3-0, 0-3, or 2-1, or 1-2. It can go any kind of. Wow, I just did what I accused you of doing. I pretty much feel the same way, man. Jaylen Brown is out. Jaylen Brown was out against the Pacers. Right. I'm not. That's why we just said it could go Smarvy. That's why we just said it could go 1 of 4, any 4 of the possible ways that this situation could work out over the next 3 games. I'm fully expecting all of that. Now, Jaylen Brown was out against the Pacers, and the Pacers were able to go into the Celtics Well, played. I don't know if they went there, whatever, however happened, but they lost. So I said that to say I don't know if he'll be playing Thursday. But knowing how that works with the Miami Heat, he probably will. And then you have a rematch against the Thunder, who we did take it to in the first half, but they proceeded to, smack us around in the second half. So their antenna definitely be up. And that Warriors thing is interesting because we don't know if Jimmy's going to play. If he plays, they're going to be up. But then again, the Miami Heat might be up for that very same reason. So those are just 3 interesting games, man. Coming off this game, it'll be nice to get it'll be nice to get all of them, but it'll be nice to go 2-1 at least. Can you agree with me there?
I'm good with taking. I'm good with them waking up for every game. Like the next 3 can set the tone before, and I think E. Reed talked about it a little bit. That's halfway point. We're reaching the halfway point of the season. It'd be nice to close out what we're heading into, which we call it All-Star time, but I call it trade time. That's what I call it. Heading into that time period, it'd be nice to have some wins. And that gives, while we still have big glaring like questions about direction, them winning games is fun. As long as they're fun to watch and they win, I'm not mad at them. So we gonna transition.
I agree.
Do you work on that shot?
Yeah, the famous segment, man. We didn't come on air right. Let's at least close it right. Hit it, man.
What kind of shot is that?
No. Oh my goodness, Valentine!
No.
Whoa!
Have you ever shot that shot?
Looking for Steph. Now Draymond's got it. What did he do that for? Draymond.
Do you work on that shot?
Got. Oh.
When?
It's Cody Martin. You gotta hit it. Oh.
Step back, one leg and leg.
To Bargnani. What is he doing?
What kind of shot is that?
Like
it gets me every.
No, it's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious like that. Oh man, like his people will never let him live that down. The internet will never let him live that down. So what do we have tonight on Do You Work on That Shot? Who do we got?
Went on our producer to key us in.
Okay. All right. All right. I think I know what's happening here. I knew that's where I knew that's where we were going. It's a very interesting situation because he was in a moment right there where he thought he was gonna make everything. He was, he was deep off in the bag and he thought that it was going down.
My brother.
The thing about Kel-El, man, Kel-El got a lot of effort shot in him. He got a lot of guard in him. Like he and I say that because he think he can do stuff that a 6-foot dude can do and end up looking like that. But hey, man, at least he didn't, get a rebound under the rim, run all the way back out to the 3-point line and take it.
You know what's crazy though, Kay? He hit the corner 3 to tie the game up.
Well, I mean, look, man, and that's the nuts thing about it though, because it's like he'll do stuff like this. Okay, let it marinate. But then also he'll come out and hit 6 threes in a game. It's like you can't tell him to stop shooting it, can you? Okay, what we got now? Oh yeah, hey, look, that was a supreme trick off. I was like, Royce O'Neal, my guy. Thank you.
What in the fake Gervin is going on here?
Bro, I was just about to say the Iceman is rolling over. I'm sorry, I don't know if the Iceman gone. I was just saying, everybody. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. But he's not happy, regardless. I mean, that was a terrible attempt. I'm happy it happened though. Oh my God.
That didn't look good when he left his hand. When it left his hands.
I mean, Wiggs been on a heater the last couple of games, though, man. He just, Wiggs. Oh, so what we gonna do is play every Wiggs attempt? Is that a thing? Is that a theme, or do you work on that tonight? We're gonna play every Andrew Wiggins attempt. I've noticed what's going on here, and I would not have it because he was a positive on the plus minus. Wiggs' defense was good, man. Everybody got a chance at Book, but Wiggs definitely, had a lot of opportunities against Booker tonight, man. He couldn't He couldn't buy a bucket though. Not even that little winky go-to classic turnaround was going from him. As they pointed out, of course, on do you work on that shot, man? How you feel about that weird 3-point situation? You think he got to chill, or can you not put a governor on him because he be sniping?
I think where, and we'll close. I think where needs flow. Like he needs to know when he has the rhythm and know when he does not have the rhythm. I feel like he's better on the corners. Those shots hit, and of course that shortest side of the court. Those are good. Those are good shots. And I'm not saying he can't hit around.
You got me. I don't want anyway. I was going to tell you guys later, but you got me.
But
I'm not hiding the Wiggins jersey up on there, people. It's funny though. Somebody's like, not today.
I like his ability to shoot the ball. It helps them offensively. It does stretch the floor. It does pull the big out. But I'm good. I'm good with him taking the shots. It just needs to be within rhythm.
Okay. Well, I mean, they'll figure it out. I'm sure everybody will get it under wraps. Next game, against the Celtics on Thursday at 7:30. Like I said, they'll get that Keller thing under wraps. So speaking of wraps, it's a wrap. We made it through. We appreciate all y'all for hanging out. Until next time, I'm Kay. That's Kyle.
Peace.